now we have a video, and I'm doing little things fancy. I got this from Cooking with Arlo. It's a little mic. Arlo's back here, and we're going to a little different venue other than our computer that we usually have, and we wanted to bring you this video. It is a Tacoma police officer who saved probably a lot of lives. There was a shooting down in Tacoma August 28th, and this officer alone, calm as a bee, takes down the suspect after being shot at. The residents are safe, and the suspect is deceased because he made his own decisions. So I wanted to bring this video to awareness because I've seen a lot of TikToks, a lot of other creators talking about this, and you're only seeing a glimpse. Pierce County Force Investigation Team put out a YouTube video with the true facts on this case, and I wanted to give you guys that information because this is the real truth. The facts shows what these officers in Washington State are having to deal with and how they respond. Officers are reactive. We don't shoot you if you're not doing anything. We react to how you shoot at us, we're gonna shoot you. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of background on this case. We're just gonna hang out and we're gonna be outside. So on August 28th, the Tacoma Police Department responded to the 6300 block of South Monroe Street for 911 of a physical DV. DV means domestic violence. What does that mean? That means someone in a family members, there's a reign of people who are counted as domestic violence. There's a fight, assault, at that residence. Mr. Collins was the aggressor, and the 911 call reported that Collins owns about 2 to 3 guns inside the residence, including an AR-15 and a pistol that is kept downstairs. DVs are one of the most dangerous things for officers to deal with. DVs are unknowns, one of the deadliest calls we can go to. There's also already an assault in progress. There's already anger. There's guns, there's weapons, and we're coming usually by ourselves or at least another officer. So they arrive on scene. So they actually met with the victim quite a ways from the residence, which is usually the safest place. Get the victims out of there, get the other people that are not involved out of the house, especially when there's guns involved. And they actually got footage from a neighbor's Ring camera showing the assault that Mr. Collins did. And so they got probable cause to arrest Mr. Collins. So they actually saw Mr. Collins in the street while they're talking to the victim, and they try to attempt to contact him verbally at a good distance and calling him by his name. So they knew, so Mr. Collins knew they were talking to him, and Mr. Collins just kind of yelled and screamed and cussed at them. He's obviously disobeying, doesn't care, in the escalated anger. And he actually retreated back to his residence. We got camera right here from a surveillance showing that.
Stop calling me. Stop calling me by my fucking name. We ain't friends, so don't call me by my fucking name. Yeah, all right, you little bitch ass motherfucker.
And so officers attempted to reposition them in a strategic location. He's showing he's not going to listen. He has guns. Goes back into the house where the guns are. And so the officers, and there's only like 2 officers on scene right now because it's just a DV. It's a call that we go on regularly, but they're still unknown. And there's a shortage of cops here, so it's not like we can get 5 cops right away if it's not a escalated call. A few minutes later, the officers that were in that strategic position actually then end up seeing Mr. Collins behind his car in the driveway, and try to engage him in verbal interaction, giving him commands not to go inside the vehicle, directions, and to show his hands. Mr. Collins refused, obviously, and it's seen quickly moving towards the rear of his residence. And then 20 seconds later, Mr. Collins decides he's going to start shooting at the police, and we're going to see footage of that.
Let me see your hands, man! Come on and talk to me! He's over here in the alley. Do not get in the car, man! What? Do not get in the car! Do not bring your hands out of that car! A black hatchback just pulled out of the back of the house. He tried to get something out of the trunk, and he's in the back of the house. Shots fired.
Shots fired, shots fired. We're down there.
He's inside. Shots fired, get me units. I don't know.
So the officers obviously had to maneuver to get out of the line of sight. I mean, they're getting shot at, so they got to go out and find a spot where they have cover, so they're not directly in the line of fire, and reposition. About 2 minutes later, Mr. Collins then fires a second volley of AR rounds towards the officers.
He has a long gun. Get units here. I have no angle. I have no angle.
Eventually, Officer Hobbs is positioned north of Mr. Collins and returns fire.
Hey! Hey, go!
Shortly after that, Mr. Collins then fled the area on foot, and he's armed with 2 ARs, semi-automatic rifles, and a pistol. Well, they actually found out it was 2 pistols and a large amount of ammunition. Mr. Collins was ready for a war against these officers, and he wasn't going to let anybody in his way. He was going to continue doing this until someone died. They actually later found out that Mr. Collins went to a neighbor's house down the road and tried to get his car from him. And, well, the neighbor said no. So he kept going on foot. So you can see here, this is when Mr. Collins is actually fleeing. And the officers didn't see this. They couldn't see him. And you can see in this map right here where Mr. Collins is walking towards and where the officers were positioned, so they're unable to see which way he went. And at 3:05 p.m., Officer Munn arrives. Officer Munn is the one that will end up saving numerous lives because of his actions and how calm he was. He arrives at the 6600 block of South Madison facing southbound. While he's arriving, you can actually hear in the video Mr. Collins shooting his rifle towards Officer Munn. Officer Munn, without spilling his coffee, gets out of his vehicle, gets his AR, shoots 1 shot, and takes down the suspect. And don't mind me, it's 183 yards. I'll show you a map in just a second of how far that actually is.
I think he's pushing east, so watch on your west side down there, guys. Alright. Just go ahead, watch Madison. Incoming to watch Madison. You walk back outside the house, we had a back on. Madison, I think he's firing on Madison. Firing on Madison. Alright, keep reloading. Reloaded. Are those shots coming from the outside? I don't know.
X-ray 316, shot fired, suspect's down. He's on Madison, just south of 67.
I'm on you. On Madison, off the 60.
Hey, move up using cover, move up using cover.
Officer Munn did not just single-handedly take down the suspect, he also made sure other officers on the scene were safe. As you can see, Officer Munn is in the top middle of this map. The red is where Mr. Collins is. That's how far that was. Officers end up moving up and contacting Mr. Collins. Officers eventually moved up and contacted Mr. Collins, and end up removing a handcuff from underneath his right hand. They provided medical aid and life-saving efforts, but he was already deceased because he made that decision. As you can see in here, these are officers moving up. They have a shield, they have an arrest team, and they have a hands-on team. which is the arrest team, but they also have a lethal officers with lethal cover. As you can see in the red right there, there's an AR style rifle. There's the backpack that Mr. Collins had. And there's the handgun. So further investigation, they actually found that Mr. Collins shot at police 15 times. Police only shot 9 times. And one of those shots was from Officer Munn, who actually is the one that put Mr. Collins in custody with a bullet. And they actually found that Mr. Collins shot 12 shots from his .223 caliber and 3 shots from his .30-06. Collins was found to have 2 gunshot wounds, one from Mr. Officer Munn and 1 self-inflicted gunshot. In this picture you can see what actually Mr. Collins had on him. These 2 ARs and that handgun and so much ammunition. Like I said, he was ready for a war. This investigation is of course ongoing. It happened in August 28th, so it's only a little over a month and a half ago. Officer Munn, thank you for protecting the residents of Tacoma that day. Thank you for what you do. You're obviously SWAT or have some kind of tactics. I saw they had a kit in the car, but thank you. Wait for what you do. Guys, I wanted to do something different, break down a video outside with Arlo. It was a great time. If you guys like this video, make sure you go down below and comment. If you want to continue supporting us, make sure you subscribe. And if you want to know when videos are coming out, hit that bell and you get notifications on when we come out. We love you guys. We hope you guys continue being safe, and remember what these police officers are doing for your community. To thank a police officer, just come up to them and say thank you. It'll mean the world to them. Have a good night. I'll see you guys later.
Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you.